we expect way too much from women and moms especially. And I'm kind of sick and tired of it. Like, rise above the bull. Okay? I am tired of the expectations that we place on moms to be everything to everyone, to figure it all out, to be the perfect spouse, the perfect, mom, the perfect employee, and then also have time for self-care because, I'm sick and tired of it. So today we're going to talk about that. And I'm also doing my meal prep because I have to do it anyway. And I figured, hey, let's combine the two things together. So I wrote down some of my little notes here of what to talk about. And stick with me. You're like a friend in the kitchen right now with me while I rant and rave. And I also want to bring up a way to move past the societal expectations about that we have around moms. So yeah, I hope you enjoy the video. And first, hi, my name is Emily. I'm a therapist in private practice, as well as a slow living enthusiast. And I specialize helping moms heal from burnout and create better communication and relationships with their children and their spouse. So if you're in Ontario and you're looking for therapy, the information for a free consultation is in the description below. And if you're looking for a slower pace of life, the information is also in the description below. But anyway, let's get started. I want to talk about how moms need to be everything to everyone at all times. So, we always we talk about how moms are like super moms, like they can get everything done. They're part of the PTA and they got all their stuff for their kids and they also have food on the table and they also are a great partner and, all that stuff. But at the same time, we have to act as if we don't have a life outside of our children, right? But at the same time, most of us are actually working mothers. Some of us are not. And I mean, having a child at home is still work. Don't get me wrong. I mean, external of the house, or not even external of the house. I work from home, but when we make money outside of our role of a mom, that would be like a working mom. Anyway, a lot of us work, right? A lot of us work either part-time or full-time, but most of us work as well as having children. And when we're at work, we're expected to act as if we don't have children at home. Like, your family life can't be something that impacts your work, right? Like, I heard that a lot when I was working outside of the home. Like, don't bring your family problems to work, which is really difficult because guess what? Shit happens. Your kids get sick. You have daycare problems. You also just might have difficulties within your life. So that makes it difficult. So you go to work and you're expected to not let family life disturb your work. And you're supposed to do excellent work. But at the same time, you go home and you have a lot of demands at home, right? So I'm going to be very generalized just because I'm going to speak to what most of my clients who are moms experience. So they are usually the ones who are the ones preparing the meals. They are the ones who ensure that the linen is washed and they remake the beds. They are the ones who make sure that everything's clean. They are the ones who make sure that the groceries are done and that they rotate the food to make sure that everything gets used up before it expires. They're also the ones who make sure that their kids' clothes fit, and if it doesn't fit, that they cycle out the clothes. Like, they do it all. And that was just like a little glimpse, because there really are they're house managers, right? Like, you're supposed to be a house manager and have everything under control in your home, while at the same time doing the same thing at work, having your work under control. But the issue is that, you're not allowed to bring your family life problems at work. Fair enough. However, they expect us to really be on all the time and be available outside of work hours. And that's especially since the pandemic, where now we have Teams and we have messages and there's this expectation to always be on and available. So how the hell do we manage to be everything for everyone without at the same time losing ourselves. Because that's what happens. If you have to be everything for everyone, you're honestly like nothing to no one because you don't have the capacity to really be present as much as you want to be. It's like, that's why I think like moms, like a lot of us are just hustling from one thing to another. And we think about hustle culture often as like we're working late, we're working overtime, and that's often very true. The clients that I see are usually high achievers in roles where they really give their all and they go over and above. But just the virtue of being the house manager and being employed and being the one in charge of every single thing. Why? Nobody told me that when I become an adult, I have to figure out what to make for supper every single night. Do you know how hard that is to figure out what to make for supper every single night? It's a lot. It's a lot. And these little things, like it sounds like so nonsensical, like, oh, Emily, like you have to make supper, boo-hoo, cry me a river. But like these little things add up and become like big things. Like it's not only the supper, it's like figuring out what the kids are going to wear in the morning. It's figuring out like, oh, okay, do I have to take the grass stains out of this? It's figuring out, okay, is it recycling day? It's cleaning. It's the dog. I have a dog. She just walked in. You can't see her. You'll maybe hear her once in a while eating food and stuff. But it's like she has an ear infection. Who do you think treats the ear infection? It's me. Because we take on the mental load, which is often the invisible load, because no one else seems to see it. And everything gets done because we do it, because moms do it. And we're exhausted. And at the end of it, we have nothing left to give to anyone, especially not to ourselves. So that can be really difficult when you go online, because online is like the place we go to compare ourselves to others, right? And we see these moms who have these pristine houses that are super clean, that are super well decorated while having kids. Like, I don't know how these people have like beige stuff that isn't stained. I don't know. Anyway, they have it all figured out. And then they also have time to do self-care. And let's be real though, like a bubble bath is not going to cure your burnout. Okay? LED technology face mask is not going to cure your burnout. Like that. We're told to like buy a bunch of products too. Like people make money off of burnout, off of women's burnout. Women, especially, that's the things that are marketed to us, and they make money off of it. Like you don't need all these tools and gadgets. And honestly, the issue is much bigger than taking a bubble bath and reading a book and using red light therapy. There's bigger things at play. And what happens with this, there's like this toxicity around self-care where it's like, ooh, you're not taking care of yourself. Like you're not reading your book, you're not doing this, that, and the other. But then again, what that does is it places the onus on the mother. Like you're at fault for your own burnout because you're not taking care of yourself. But, sorry, I'm pointing with a knife. But is it the mother's fault or is it society's fault? And it's our way that we view motherhood that's at fault. Because like I just said, a bubble bath's not going to cure your burnout. Societal changes or the way that you view society and you view motherhood is what will change, but not a freaking bubble bath. It'll help. I mean, it could help. I have friends who take bubble baths. They love it. But it's just not just that alone. You know what I mean? So what happens when we're everything for everyone is that we sacrifice ourselves, right? The phrase I hate this so much. We live for our kids. We live for them. We die for them. Like, I don't know, I live and die for my kids. I do everything for my kids. I sacrifice for my children. Stop that. Stop it, please. I think a lot of us heard that growing up, and a lot of us probably still do hear that, where it's like, I made sacrifices for my children, for you. If you heard that growing up, I wonder how you felt about hearing that. Because what's difficult about that? And I've worked with children for years, children in and teenagers, they tend to feel like they're a burden. When you hear your parents say all the time that they sacrificed their life for you, that they don't have friends because they were caring for you, that you are their whole life, that creates a burden for them. That they have to be, I don't know, good enough at all times because you sacrifice so much for them. But what they really want, and what these kids have told me that they really want, is just a happy parent. They want a happy parent, and they don't want to feel like they ruin their parents' life by being born. And I say that not because you're saying this to your children. You may be, because, it's just what we're taught to say, right? It's sacrificing yourself for your children is seen as, it's like a martyrdom. It's like a good thing, but it's really not. And again, you might say this because these are things that you heard growing up. I find that, a lot of my clients are millennials, and this is what we heard from our parents, that they sacrificed their lives for us. But you know what? I don't want my daughter to ever feel like I sacrificed my life for her. I chose to have her. I wanted to have her. And I still deserve a life even though I'm a mom. I am more than just a mom. And I want her to see that I have interests and hobbies and friends. And because if she ever decides she wants to be a mom, that's her prerogative if she wants to or not. I want her to feel like she can be herself too. I don't want her to feel like she has to lose herself just because she became a mother. We're not just moms, we're people too. And we forget that sometimes. But that's more important, I think. I love the clients I work with because they're such unique individuals. We are all individuals. And I love the moms, friends that I have, and I love talking with them. And a lot of them express to me how they just feel lost. They don't know who they are anymore. They don't know what they like. They don't know what they like to do. They don't know who they are if not a mom running to get the groceries, if not a mom, helping her child blow his nose, So there's this narrative in society that moms need to sacrifice for others, sacrifice for the greater good too. You got to think, this idea of motherhood and this idea of being a mom, it's bigger than just moms themselves, like Mother Nature, Mother Earth. We are the carers. We care for people. We take care of people. And that means that we're almost expected to do so by forgetting our own needs. And we do. We forget our own needs. We push it aside. And yeah, in the beginning of postpartum period, there is a bit of that happens, right? Because if you're breastfeeding, then you're breastfeeding constantly, and babies are just crazy, in terms of the sleep, it makes no sense, it's disjointed. But then your kid's 6 years old, and you still don't know who you are. You still don't know what you like to do. You still don't know what you want from life. And then what happens that I see a lot is when you don't know who you are, what you are outside of motherhood, when your children leave, you're completely lost and you don't know how to move forward. And it can, we have that, the term of the empty nesters. I don't want that to be you. I want you to have a life outside of your children. I want your motherhood to bring you joy, but I also want you to have your own individual life as well. So if I can give you an idea of how to approach reframing your situation or understanding your motherhood differently or going on this journey a little bit differently, first I want you to strip everything away. Strip away all these titles you have, all these people you are accountable for. So let's forget that you're a mom. Let's forget that you're a spouse. Let's forget that you're an employee. Let's start by just going with, who are you, okay? Who are you? I'm Emily. What's your name? Okay, maybe in the comments. What's your name? What's your name? And in the comments, right? What's your name? And what was the thing that you loved to do growing up? that if nobody stopped you from doing it, you could do it for hours. So what's your name? If you feel comfortable putting it. And what was one thing growing up that you loved to do that if no one stopped you from doing it, you would do it for hours? For me, so hi, I'm Emily. And growing up, I just loved to sing and dance all the time. My daughter does it a lot now too. We'll be like, singing and dancing. And so that was like what I loved to do. That and making up little stories. So first it's like connecting with who you were before all this messaging really warped you, like reconnecting with your essence, and then build up from there. I'm not telling you to go like quit your job or anything like that, or ship your kids away. That's not what I'm telling you. I'm telling you like it's like a mental exercise, right? So just think about like, what are things that you wish you had more of in your day? One thing that I really recommend is time with others, okay? Humans, we are social beings. Being at work is not enough. We are meant to connect. We are meant to talk. We are meant to share our stories. We are meant to cry together. Honestly, we are meant to cry together. And I think a lot of us have just disconnected so much from each other. And we need to bring that back. And honestly, like that is, like, if you think about it in terms of self-care, and we talk about like taking care of ourselves, it's social supports, right? Having good social supports. When shit happens, you have people to turn to. You have confidants. You have friends and family. And so like try and make time for people, friends, family, your partner, whatever you feel is like right for you. And maybe that's, I don't know, it can look like a lot of different things. For me, it's like try and see one friend once a week, usually in person. But I have another, my sister-in-law, like she does D&D party things virtually with her friends. And that's a really great way for her to connect. My husband likes to play video games too with his friends, like on Steam, right? I think that's and they're playing, I don't know, are they playing Helldivers? I think that's a game. Anyway, so start with that. And then maybe you want to add in moments of interest. And that like goes beyond hobbies. Hobbies are really cool to have, but most of us don't know what our hobbies are. And honestly, the hobby thing has been so commercialized that we mostly talk about it just to make you buy stuff. But like, that doesn't have to be that. Honestly, like, maybe you just want to sit outside a bit and like get some fresh air. I don't know. And then when you think about the things you do want, you think about the things you don't want. Like, what pressures are you putting on yourself that you do not want? Like, I don't like doing dishes. So I do not put the pressure on myself to do the dishes every single night. Sometimes it takes a couple of nights before it even gets done. But these are little things that you can do just to start. But of course, like these messages that you have in your mind, that you grew up with, that you're still receiving today, that your partner also has in their mind of how you should be managing your role as a mother, and that they are expecting you to do, like those are all still present. And that's why like a lot of us need someone to talk to work through that, to change the messaging, to show ourselves some self-compassion, and to know that we're not alone. 'Cause I think a lot of us feel this way of not being a good enough mom, of not doing enough. And now like you're going to compare yourself to me because I did a meal prep. Like, listen, I don't do this that often. Like, I'm not that amazing. You should have seen it yesterday. It was a lot more dishes. But we compare ourselves. What if we actually just talk to each other and we're open and honest about how things really are? Like, a lot of us are scared because we think we're the only ones and that people are going to judge us. But honestly, moms just need someone to relate to. It is extremely lonely being a mother. And you need to talk to modern moms, moms who are going through the trenches too. I think because your reality will match their reality. Whereas if you hear the reality of your mother or your grandmother, they're not living in, they didn't live and grow up in the same time as you. They didn't have the same kind of pressures as you did. They're not in this technological boom that we currently are. And they're not in this whatever recession we're doing again. You know what I mean? And no one has your exact experience. But go speak to someone who has similar. It can really be helpful. It can really be eye-opening. And it can make you feel not alone. Don't forget to write in the comments, what's your name? What did you enjoy doing as a child? If you could just do it without anybody stopping you. I say that because sometimes we were stopped as children from doing the things we found interest in. So if you could do the things that you like to do without anybody stopping you, what would they be? Put that in the description, not description, in the comments. And again, if you are someone who is currently in Ontario struggling with mom burnout, and you need extra support, I am accepting clients. You can book a free consultation. The information is in the description. And if you have other questions, just, I don't know, send me a DM on Instagram, send me a message, send me an email. I'd love to talk to you. We have to stick together. Also, do we love my shirt? Rise above the... I whispered it. Well, I didn't whisper it. I mouthed it. Anyway, keep living your authentic life. Bye.